Hey, welcome to this episode of Rough Talk MMA. Going through our picks for UFC 325, the second Paramount card. We did our first episode last week, which was our picks for UFC 324, and we dropped a little wrap-up episode as well, too. If you haven't checked that out yet, you can catch our thoughts on the whole card. But today we're talking about UFC 325, Volkanovski versus Lopes 2. It's a rematch. It's a rematch of Volkanovski's last fight. Even Diego Lopes has picked up a win since then. But looks like a solid card, especially that main card. The
main card's great.
Yeah, it opens a little weak with the prelims of, it's like a lot of road to UFC fighters. Going to be a lot of UFC debuts here. Which, you know what? The unknown. These guys could come out and throw heat. You could see a future champ here. But it's not much to get excited about in terms of already knowing who they are and stuff like that.
No.
But the main card's full of bangers. So we'll kick it off talking Volkanovski versus Lopes 2. And we'll do what we did last week. And I promise I'll stay true to it this time. We'll go.
I'll hold you to it. It was just cracking me up last week.
Yeah. So it's funny. I realized after like 4 or 5 fights, But kicking off the main card.
We'll alternate.
Yeah. Not kicking off the main card, the main event of the evening. We have Alexander.
Yes, that's right. We're starting from the top.
Yeah, nice and easy like that. Just in case anyone just cares about the main event, we can give them what they want nice and early. But Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes 2 for the UFC featherweight title. Who's your pick to win this?
For this one, I got Volk. I'm not going against him. I refuse to. This is honestly, full disclosure, this is 75% heart pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why I'm saying a TKO or a KO. I don't know why. I'm feeling it. I'm expecting high energy. He can do it. So I'm going Volk.
Via KO? KO / TKO?
Yeah, I am.
Nice.
I might eat a little crow on it because I'm not feeling it 100% because I'm letting my enjoyment of him as a fighter and a person sway me over Diego, who I know is damn good. But I will say Volk by TKO or KO.
Volk does have a win over him already, and I'm actually going to change my pick from what's on the sheet that we have that lists our picks. This is a Volkanovski household here. Volkanovski is one of my favorite fighters.
Is that why you're changing it?
Yeah. I was thinking of it last night, and today I was like, man, Volkanovski has a win over Diego Lopes. In terms of personality and character, I think Volkanovski is one of the best people in the sport right now. He's so fun just to listen and talk to. He's got a awesome cooking channel as well, too, on Instagram, that Cooking with Volk. I highly recommend checking that out. But, Volk went toe-to-toe with Islam in that first fight. The second fight that he took in short notice, he got finished. But he's so technical. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking. Man, I'm going to go Volkanovski by decision. Same outcome as their first fight.
Okay.
I originally was going to go Diego by TKO.
I saw
just because Volkanovski got dropped in their first fight. Diego's getting better every day. Volkanovski's, at the tail end of his career. Volkanovski also just did a movie. He was just acting. How much time
that doesn't always lead up to the best post performances for people because they focus so hard on the grind of the acting deal.
That's kind of where my brain was at, but I just can't bring myself to pick against Volkanovski. This is a heart pick here. It's not always a logical one. This one's a heart one. I'm going Volkanovski by decision.
Same. Not decision, but I can't. I can't.
Look, the day that we get method and winner right on the whole card is a cold day in hell. Like, that's so hard to do. I'll take just the winner itself, and I'll be happy with that.
100%.
So both of us taking Volkanovski. I'll go decision. You'll go TKO. But this is one fight. If Diego puts him away, I'm not going to be shocked. He dropped
Diego's
Volk in the
good.
First fight, and
number 2, dude. I mean, for a reason too.
Diego has just beat Gian Silva, who we saw have an awesome performance at UFC 324. So let's see. But Volkanovski, both of our picks. Next, we have Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint-Denis. Man, Saint-Denis is a violent man. Dan Hooker's been in there with the best of the best, though. He's been in there with Dustin Poirier. He's been in there with Michael Chandler. He's lost a lot of those fights, but he's hung in there. You know, he just came off of a loss to Arman, who probably should be the number one contender, but that's for the lightweight title. But that's a different conversation. They're really shafting Arman there, but that's not what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm going to go Benoit via TKO. The man is just tough to deal with. He's a violent man on his feet. His only loss is to Dustin Poirier. He went into that fight with staph and on antibiotics. You know, we talked about that the last card with Justin, how impressive it was that he went 5 rounds on staph. But Benoit was compromised in his only loss. He's coming off of a great win to Mauricio Ruffy, who's also on this card earlier in it. Yeah, I'm going to go Benoit by TKO. I think he's going to be too much for Dan Hooker on the feet. He's going to swarm him. He's going to really put that pressure on. He's going to beat him up for 2 rounds and get the finish in the third. But Dan Hooker's good on the feet. We could see him keep range with body shots, body kicks, leg kicks, and I think Dan Hooker's path to victory is picking him apart for 3 rounds, but I'm going to give this to BSD. I'm going to go Benoit Saint-Denis via TKO, and if I had to pick a round, I would say 3rd round.
I get scared when we have the same fighter, because that means we both can bail on it. But I am taking Benoit. My only change is I feel a submission coming from him, and it'll be early, 1st, 2nd round at the latest.
I could see him getting a rear naked choke, really working him down, taking the back.
It's within the realm of possibility, but it would have to play out in my imaginative world like I'm seeing it for it to happen. I'm reluctant because other fights in this past card on 324 that I envisioned playing out did not play out like I envisioned. The Paddy fight, taking
not a single submission win on UFC
in the 2nd round, man. But Benoit can do it. He's got submission abilities. He's won fights with submissions. I feel it. Benoit, I can see submission.
I can see him really
Benoit to win. How's that?
Yeah, if he gets the win, I'm happy there. But I could see him beating up Dan Hooker and slipping in a tight submission and getting the finish. That's a totally reasonable pick.
It's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, if Dan Hooker somehow gets the win here, it sets his career back to momentum. With momentum so strong, like I said, he's coming off of a couple losses, just lost to Arman.
He's got some miles.
He's been in wars with everyone. Dan Hooker's fought the best of the best. So
some of those fighters that have been around for a while, those older wars were they hit a little different. Mm-hmm. The head might not have felt so good the next morning.
And Benoit has one of those styles. He's aiming to be the most violent Benoit in history.
Okay.
That was a bad one. That was a real bad one.
I was waiting. I'm like, how can nobody ever play off the poor guy?
Yeah, but he does have one of those styles that just breaks people. Like you just see them get floppy armed with fatigue. He's just got a relentless pace. I think he's got a hell of a chin too. Well, we're unanimous on winner for these first 2. Mm-hmm. Method might change, but unanimous on the winners as least. So if one of us do well, we both do well. But if one of us fail, we both fail. The next fight, we have Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Ruffy, who that is our same last name as well, too. With the only difference is that we were born with that name. That's our birth name. Mauricio Ruffy's last name is not Ruffy. It's Lima. He just goes by Ruffy because he's a fan of the One Piece anime. But let it be known, that's our real one, not an imposter last name here. But I'm a huge fan of Mauricio Ruffy, especially when I thought that was his actual last name. I was so bummed to learn it wasn't. I have him winning by decision here. I think he's gonna. I'm so sorry. It's your turn. You're supposed to.
Oh no, you might as well finish. I'm sorry. I was so into it.
No, that's what happened last week. Is
Yeah, but we're already at the point.
So you go the next 2 after this, okay?
Yeah,
we'll make it even. So Mauricio Ruffy, I have winning by decision. I think he's going to be too slick for Rafael on the feet, and Rafael's a great striker as well too. He has some takedown ability. I could see him, if Rafael were to win, I think it would also be by decision. I could see him, getting the slight better on the feet and then getting those late round takedowns against Ruffy, but I think Ruffy's just going to keep the range, pick him apart for 3 rounds, and get the decision win. personally.
50% hard pick. Can't bet against the Ruffy, dude. That's crazy. I have Ruffy winning by KO. And honestly, anytime I've thought the guy wasn't going to win, he's freaking won. There's been some fights he's had. I'm like, nah, dude, there's just no way. And I'm like, holy crap, he pulled that off.
When he lost to Benoit Saint-Denis, it really messed up my parlays on that card. So he's lucky I'm still betting on him.
I think this is going to be a slugfest. I think this and the fight before this are going to be absolute bangers. I think these are going to be two people that are going to stand in the middle of that cage, and they're going to start swinging. And when that happens, that's where shit can go south, though. We've seen that many a times. People point to that middle, and then they get that pop in, and it's over. But I'm taking Ruffy to win by knockout. 100% biased, 50% hard pick. I can back up my other 50% with statistics, but it's going to be a great fight, dude.
I think there's some serious fight of the night potential with this one.
This one or the one before me, or before this one that we'll talk about. I think both of those in a group are going to be, they shouldn't be next to each other. How's that?
Yeah, no, this is going to be a big momentum drop in the card if these two fights are as exciting as we anticipate, and then all of a sudden the co-main and main aren't. That happens sometimes.
It 100% on paper has this possibility, though. Even on kind of the way I'm picking it and my expectations of how these two fights are going to play out, I don't know if the main event's going to be as nice looking. The only thing in favor is Volk.
We saw that with UFC 324, where the crowd was so spoiled from the prelim fights and just knockout and TKO after TKO. If people grappled for a second after those fights, they started to boo. Yeah, no patience. Yeah.
The announcers were even saying it, that all three of them were like, yeah, everyone got so spoiled these first fights.
Yeah. So we'll see how this does.
Like, what are they doing? Why are they wrestling?
The momentum of the card might be interesting following this fight and then the next one we're going to talk about. But yeah, we both have Ruffy. You were just going KO. I'm going decision. Okay. Man, we're either both going to do really good, feel really good about this card, or we're both going to feel really bad.
I think there's a lot of fights on this card we're taking same fighters, and that scares the hell out of me. Last night there was a lot of fights that were different. I'm like, oh, this is great. One of us is going to win.
Yeah.
Next week could prove devastating.
We have potential to do a clean loss together on the main card.
Have you ever lost? I've never lost a full card.
No, it's just like it's hard to win a whole card. If you can't get a single pick right, knock on wood, But the next fight, I'll let you give your prediction first. But we have Tuivasa versus Tallison Teixeira. Heavyweight sluggers right here. Ty has a win over Derek Lewis, who we were just singing in praise of, last week. Sluggers. But who do you think is going to win this one?
You're going to call me crazy, but I'm taking Teixeira.
That's not crazy.
To win by KO. I see a wicked fair argument for Bam Bam. If anybody said to win by KO or TKO, I'd say absolutely possible. Wouldn't be unexpected, but I think this is Teixeira's moment, dude.
He's coming off of a loss to Derek Lewis, who Tai Tuivasa does have a win too, but Tai Tuivasa's lost like 4 of his last 5. He is on a losing skid, to say the least. So you're going Teixeira by KO?
Yeah.
That's a fair pick. I can't argue against that. This is one that I probably should be agreeing with you and go with your pick because it's illogical,
Well, you say that, but I know your pick, and in my head, I'm like, I should probably be agreeing with him.
Well, that's how I feel about yours. Teixeira's only got 1 loss. Anyone can get caught against Derek Lewis. The guy's thunderous.
Only takes that one.
But I am going to go Tai Tuivasa via KO. Or TKO. TKO/KO.
You think more of the coming into it, trying to avenge these many losses in a row kind of thing, or job on the line?
Yeah, I think Teixeira is catchable. I think this is the perfect Hail Mary fight for Tai Tuivasa. Let's either get your career back on track, or it might be time for another organization type deal. But one of the most entertaining heavyweights. People love Tai. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of his shoey behavior, Not a fan of drinking the beers out of the shoes. That's not cool.
Nope. Gross.
But, hey, I get it. Everyone's culture does their own wacky ass things.
Alcohol kills the bacteria, dude.
Isn't that what they try to say about it? It's disgusting.
In my own head, it makes sense, but I'm not sipping booze out of a
sweaty ass heavyweight shoe. That's nasty. But I'm picking Ty to win this one. I think that they're going to be swinging and banging. I think that they're going to be throwing haymakers. This is one, like, I hate to say this because, like, anytime you say this, it does go to decision. But I don't see this one going to decision for either guy.
No.
Somebody's going out in this fight.
I would argue this one or the Ruffy fight.
Mm-hmm.
These two fights should not be this close. They need to space these.
Yeah, it's going to be two fun fights right away.
With huge expectations. Because on paper, somebody's going to sleep. But I thought that with Atiba, dude. Round one knockout. That's what came out of my pie hole. Not 15 minutes later.
This is a fun fight, though. And this is our first one that we diverge on winners. So I'm going Tai Tuivasa, and you're going Tallison Teixeira.
One of us got it right.
One of us is going to win.
Pray for no cancellations, please, please, please.
Finally, we have some divergence. But the next fight is going to be Quillan Salkilld versus Jamie Mullarkey, who's got a last name that you just can't help but make jokes with, like, cut out the Mullarkey, But fun lightweight fight. Quillan's on a tear. Mullarkey's been around though. So who do you think is going to win this one?
Is it my turn to tell you?
Yeah, I figured I'd give you the next two since I took two.
So again, I feel like we're both picking the same fighter, different method.
That's the story of this card.
I feel with these two fighters, we might see more of this might be the, like, we need to go to the bathroom before the next fight. Let's do that. They might stalemate themselves a lot. I don't know how entertaining this is going to be in my head just because of both of their skills, but I have Quillan by decision.
That's a fair pick.
I even put a disclaimer if I feel it might go the distance, but I'm also going to say it might be too close for anybody to feel good about the decision when it comes in. That's what I'm feeling. Too much of a stalemate.
And Jamie does have a lot of KOs himself too. He's got 10 KO/TKO finishes. Quillan's just come to the UFC and everyone he touches goes down. I'm going to take Salkilld by KO or TKO. So we're agreeing on the fighter here. The pick's just a little different.
Correct.
Kid's on a tear right now. Like I said, he touches people, they go down.
Something about their stats are so close to each other. It's to me one of the most unique matchups for statistical evenness. It's very rare.
He has finishes. 10 of his 18 wins are by TKO or KO. The man's got power for lightweight.
Does.
I think he needs to be swinging for the fences against Quillan. I think Quillan's going to be more technical on the feet. I could see it going 3 rounds. Mullarkey's been caught before, though. I think Quillan's going to be able to take him out. But we're agreeing on the fighter, though. It's
correct.
Just another one of those method ones. I think if the UFC could pick a winner, they would pick Quillan to win this just because, prettier record, 10-1.
Yeah, well, we know they can't pick by marketing for sure.
Otherwise, we would have seen Patty get that win.
Correct.
Yeah.
6-7.
This is
kids everywhere have been happy as hell.
This is a fun fight though. And then next one before this, I'll take the lead on it for this one. Correct. We have Junior Tafa versus Billy Elekana. The Tafa brothers have not been able to catch a break. It's tough fight after tough fight. Tafa comes into this with a 6-4 record with 100% of his wins by KO, but none of them in the UFC. He's been on a skid. All 4 of those losses in the UFC. I don't know if Billy's going to be able to put him out. Billy's only got 3 KO finishes on his record. I think we're going to see Billy by decision. Like I said, it's been a very unfortunately tough road for the Tafa brothers, and unfortunately, I expect much of the same here. I think he's just going to get outworked for the 3 rounds to see Billy take a decision.
I am going Tafa by KO with the notation I made that this is a 100% all or nothing fight for Tafa.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. I don't know if he'll get another chance. Now, he has the ability to knock people out. He just has to be able to do it. This is all or nothing.
I don't think career on the line type fights.
That's how I felt it. And a lot of times when those fighters, someone won last night. He's like, man, my freaking job was on the line. Yeah, you bet your ass I'm going to do good. So there's a certain energy, but this is a fighter just 100% knockouts. So I can't pick him going any other way, but I think the urgency of a career to be saved is real, and we're going to see if he wants to save it.
It's going to be a fun fight.
It's not going to be like Billy's going to stand there, be like, yo, I'll let you do it. So there's a lot of factors, but someone's job could be on the line in this fight.
He could catch Billy too. Like Tafa throws hammers.
I wouldn't want to get hit by it.
No.
Anything that has heavyweight attached to it, I'm all set.
Billy just has to circle out, really just let that power go in the first round, and then really put it on him in those second and third.
There also has to be some like direct, I wouldn't say fear, but understanding of who you're fighting and what they are capable of and what's really on the line for them.
Yeah, he's on a skid, but if he catches you, it's a bad night. You got a headache the next couple days.
So we definitely disagree on fighters and method.
Yeah, this is our first real big divergence, This is nice. So I'll have Billy by decision. You're taking Tafa by KO.
Yep.
Next fight, we have Cam Rowston versus Cody Brundage in the middleweight division.
This is a tough one.
Yeah. You can take the lead on this one?
I will. I kept going back and forth with myself on this. So then I'm going to go for a Hail Mary with Cody. I'll say Cody by TKO or KO, but it's going to be like a haymaker, just a random blind luck that's going to end this fight.
It's another Hail Mary pick?
This is a Hail Mary pick. Sometimes I try to envision the fights in my head. We all know this never works out for anyone, but we both had the same vision with the Patty fight, even though you would pick Justin. Like you could see it. You can mentally see things. And it's possible. It's not out of the scope of possibility. But boy, oh boy, that'd be a great way to end this fight to get into the next fight with Tafa and Billy.
This card has potential to out excitement UFC 324. There's some bangers on here.
We might be underestimating it, even in how we're looking at it. But there's some serious good fights on this card.
Those opening fights that we're getting to, there's a lot of UFC people making UFC debuts. Like I said, they come from the road to UFC side. Sometimes these guys come in like Ty Miller in the last card with something to prove and make some statements.
They want to eat. Ramen's getting a little much.
I'm thinking this card's going to have some fireworks, and I think this is going to be another one of those that do have fireworks. I have Cam winning by TKO. He's really coming into his own at this stage of his career. Very crisp, very technical. We've seen Cody caught plenty before. Finished. I think Cam's just going to be too much for him, and it's going to get the win via TKO.
Cam could get submission.
He could. He's got a lot of submissions as well, too. Cody, he's scrappy. I think he's going to be able to avoid the submission. Unfortunately, I think his chin's still going to be there. I think Cam's going to find the spot, find the button, and or get the TKO finish. Swarm him, get the finish after rocking him. But I'm expecting Cody throws haymakers too. There's potential. There's potential for a much more tough fight than I'm anticipating. But overall, I do think Cam's just going to run through him on this one.
I mean, 55% of Cody's fights end with a knockout.
Mm-hmm. He's got the experience in the UFC. He has the experience side. Yeah. There's potential here.
There's
been crazier upsets.
Record's a little rough. If I took away the names and everything and just went by record, I would go Cam.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a prettier record, but Cody has fought much tougher competition as well, too. Those 7 losses aren't to scrubs. They're to some of the best in the division. So we'll see.
We disagree.
Yes. Finally, we've hit the prelims were really starting to diverge from each other. Let's see on this next fight, though, we have Jacob Malkoun versus Torrez Finney. I guess it's me taking the lead on this one since you took the last one. I'm going to go Jacob by decision. I've seen him fight plenty. He's got heart. He's got will. Torrez comes into this undefeated, though. That's a very big factor. But, Jacob, he's been in there with some tough fights. He finds a way to win. He can take a shot, stay in it. I think Jacob's going to give Torrez his first loss by decision. However, Torrez has a lot of power. 7 of his 11 wins by KO. I wouldn't be surprised if he catches Jacob and gets the ground and pound finish. But all said and done, I'm going to go Jacob by decision. I think he's going to work him against the cage, get some takedowns, and just pressure him to a victory.
If it goes to decision, I could see Jacob getting it. Only because Torrez doesn't have the best. Two decision wins. He's not about that lifestyle, so he's not going to let it go to decision. I'm picking too many KOs in this card. He's going to get the KO. 11-0, strong record.
Mm-hmm. It's hard, man. It's hard to pick against him. This is one of those I wasn't sure of when I picked it. My winner.
I feel like it's either going to be a KO or he's going to lose by decision.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll win on your pick. I have to go Torrez for KO. I just too much on the line. 11-0 is impressive. Why not make it 12-0?
And dude, he's looked good in his other fights too. I could see him getting the finish over Jacob. This is one of my picks I'm the least confident of.
100%. I'm not sworn. I almost want to go KO or loses by decision. Can I get credit for that?
Can I have a backup one?
Can we do two? What we want and what could happen as we see it. But no,
we always put the disclaimer when it's a heart pick,
Yeah, I have to stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Torrez by knockout.
Clean. I can see it. This is not one I'm willing to argue too much on.
No.
I could see it going either way. At least our picks cover both ranges of the spectrum. You said either Jacob by decision or Torrez by KO. That's exactly how our picks are. I have Jacob by decision.
Legit.
You have Torrez by KO.
And that's
by your estimation, one of us is going to be correct with method.
If I'm wrong, you're right, and if you're right, I'm wrong.
Yeah. And you know what? I won't be
right.
If Torrez gets the finish, I'm going to even say it'll be in the first round. Yeah. Catch him clean and fast. But let's see.
Could be a high energy cloud too.
Dude, I'm telling you, this card has a lot of potential for excitement. I'm really excited for this. Paramount deal is off to a good start with the numbered cards. But next fight we have Jonathan Micallef versus Oban Elliott, the Welsh gangster. I'm sorry. Man, I like Oban. He lost one of his last fights, if not his last fight, in a fight that I honestly thought he was going to win, but he really got out-grappled for that fight. I don't think we're going to see that from Jonathan in this fight. I'm going to go Oban Elliott by TKO on this one.
I'm going Oban decision.
So both of us agree on
another fight where I think the fighters are too statistically close. So if they come out at their 100% mark, I don't know if one will be able to put the other to sleep. Both can defend against submissions. Both have knockouts. Both can defend against knockouts. Their statistics are real close.
Jonathan's 8-1. He's had a good career so far.
He's having a good run. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick to Oban by decision.
So both of us have Oban winning. I have him by TKO. You have him by decision. So we agree there. So we'll either both be correct on fighter or we'll both be wrong. And we got a lot of crossover on this one. But this is another one of those potential fight of the night fights. I could see both guys throwing heat in this one.
Yeah, especially if they're kind of stifling each other out.
Mm-hmm.
It has the makings on these fights that are this close, have the makings to be really great fights, though.
Yeah, I'm not feeling confident. I'm not feeling confident in bets for this card. I feel like there's so many toss-ups.
No.
A lot of these fights I go, I could see it going this way or that way,
What's cool about that is you're least likely to be disappointed in those fights because you're mentally going into it with the understanding that, well, I want this person to win, but I totally could see it happening. So it's almost a win-win even if the guy you wanted loses.
So next fight, I'll let you take the lead on, but we have Genghis Khan Ofli. What a ballsy nickname to have, but
how could you
Khan
go again?
Ofli versus Yizha. I like when these fighters have just one name. No first name, no last name. It's Yizha.
Yizha's got some miles.
Izha. Yeah, man, a 26-5 record. That's a lot of fights. It's in the featherweight division. Who do you think is going to take this one?
This is going to be active. I got Kaan by decision.
I was hoping that you would go Yizha. I'll explain why after.
I think it's going to be a high energy fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if either one will be able to stifle the other person. And they're just going to see who's got it by the points. And it might be a, damn, I don't know who really won. So there's going to be 50% angry people.
I can see that. Decisions is definitely a safer pick than what I'm going to say. I'm going Kaan by submission. The reason I joked out, I was hoping to go use this so we'd have some divergence.
Yeah,
we agree on the
there's a lot on this one. There's almost too much agreement.
Mm-hmm. I could see a decision win. I could also see Yizha taking this one, but I think Kaan's gonna work him and end up getting the submission for the finish.
If he doesn't, they need to take Genghis from his nickname.
You need to make your opponent submit with that nickname. Quite the ballsy nickname to have, you know?
Joke, dude.
You know,
like that's how I saw it. Like, you're taking Genghis,
really? Crazy. Which I get it. Your first name's Kaan, so then it's Genghis Khan, you know. But come on,
yeah,
ballsy. You better go out there and perform, son. Let's see. I love this next fighter's nickname, Frogman.
Ribbit.
We have Sang-Wook Kim versus Dam Marfan. This is where we start to hit the unknowns in the UFC. A lot of these fighters come from their Road to UFC program. You know, we'll see. These next four fights, the opening four, like I already said though, sometimes these fighters they come in with something really to prove for their debut. But it's a lot of really toss-up fights just because there's a lot of unknown in these. But I'm going to go Frogman by submission. You know, his Dom's only loss, though, is to Quillan, who's later on the card. But, you know, I don't know. I'm taking Frogman here by submission. But I'm not like I don't know enough about this fight in the next three to really like I said, bet money on them or anything. Yeah.
I'd even said that like at the start. I'm like, dude, I don't know some of these fighters as well as I feel like I should.
Yeah, these are the fights that we learn about them, you know?
Start building their stock. I am also going to go Frogman Sang-Wook Kim. I believe I've actually seen him on a show, on a Korean television show. It's really what I'm banking on. I'll have to say by
hoping it's the same guy.
Hoping it's the same guy. I believe it is. It was an interview with him, but I'm going to take decision with Frogman. I want to know where I want to know where his name came from.
Mm-hmm. Better because he's damn good at submissions for how I'm picking him.
Got those frog legs.
Mm-hmm. Really good at triangles and stuff like that.
Yeah, I hope these fighters, because they're not as known, really put on a good, entertaining show for everyone. Put their all in it.
Now's the time.
One of these two fighters, we should be saying after the fight, holy crap, Frogman was no joke.
Now's the time for us to really learn about them. So I agree. This is your opportunity to show the world who you are. So hopefully we see some bangers in these first four, but we both agree on Frogman. Love the nickname, honestly, but just disagree on the method. I'm going submission. You're going decision.
Correct.
Man, I'm really up against it with pronunciations here. This next one we have Kichiro Nakamura versus Sebastian Szalay. Featherweight fight. Another Road to UFC fight. Who's your pick here?
I have been going back and forth on this. And even at this very second, so I'm dying to say Sebastian, but Nakamura by KO or TKO is what I'm feeling right now. Ask me an hour from now, I might be like, oh no, dude, this is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, these fights, like I said, it's very hard for me to honestly commit to a winner just because of the unknowns of it all. But I'm also going with Nakamura by TKO on this.
What's funny is I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So we agree on fighter and method on this one. But I could easily see Sebastian winning a decision. But, I'm expecting some fireworks in this fight. And we'll see. Both guys have some pretty records. Nakamura 7-1, Sebastian 10-1. Let's see. Like I said, both going Nakamura by TKO.
But yeah, I'm hoping that these fighters are going to leave a very strong impact on us.
They need the Ty Miller logic. Is like, go out and make a statement for your debut, It's just tough when you're also fighting another debuting fighter who has that same mentality. But for us as fans, we might get the
exact same thing. Yeah.
We might get some fireworks because of it. All right, last two fights. Well, technically first two fights of the card. And man, I'm, like I said, up against it with pronunciations here. Sulin Grangbo versus Lawrence Lui in the bantamweight division. We have 10-3 Sulin Grangbo versus 7-1 Lawrence Lui. This is another one of those, I need to be educated on these fighters with their debut. Really, really show yourself to me with this. I'm going to go with Lawrence Lui by decision, though. Looking at their records, the level of competition that Lawrence has fight seems a bit higher, tougher records against the guys he's fought. I think we're going to see that experience and that difference in competition level in this fight. Not enough to get a finish, but I'm expecting Lawrence Lui to get the decision here. However, at only 20 years old and already has 30 fights, we could see Sulin be improving substantially every fight and have enough to get the win over Lawrence. But all said and done, I'm going Lawrence Lui by decision.
I am 100% taking the same pick as you for this fight, and it kills me because I can't talk myself out of it. I want to. Lou's got 100% takedown defense. They both like to stand.
But 13 fights and only 20 years old is impressive.
But I'm going to say Lui by decision.
Yeah, I think that's the fair. I mean, hey, look, I picked it too. I think that's the smart pick here.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it.
I know, dude. None of these first four fights am I sold on at all.
No, 100% not.
I'll have more opinions on their fighters after their fight, and I've really seen them. But
we're also going to not see them we're going to see them in a full freaking arena. This is different.
UFC nerves, Paramount cameras everywhere, the media the week of. It's different.
Correct. It's not the same lifestyle any fighters used to. You got the media, you got to do all the interviews, and that changes. That changes things real quick when you're not seasoned to that, when it's just another day at the job, walking into a 40,000 seat arena sold out. So
we'll see. We're going to learn a lot about these guys in this one and this whole card, these opening fights, but we're both going Lawrence Lui by decision. In the first fight of the evening, we have Aaron Tao versus Namsarai Batbayar. Who's your pick for this one?
I'm taking Tattoo Face. Tua.
Aaron too. Man, guy's got a tattoo on his face like that. It's hard to pick against him. He's got the Samoan genes.
He's living it. Imagine if he wasn't. Like, nope, not even.
Comes out looking like me and you.
I'm not confident in a method. Not, going up against an absolute animal who's 9-0. So I'll say decision if I had to pick a method. Tua by decision.
It's a flyweight fight. That's fair.
Yeah, it's going to be active. We know that. I'm going to hear those punches. Pop, 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 pop. Like little bullets. Pow, pow, pow. So scrappy is going to be the name of the game, but decision will be how Tua wins.
I could see it. This is a fun one, though, because we get to disagree. I'm going to go Namsarai by decision as well. Both of us are agreeing it's going to go all 3 rounds to a decision, but picking opposite people. You got Aaron, I'll take Namsarai. And I agree that that's a good description of it. Little bullets flying, going to hear that slap sound a whole bunch. Slap, 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 slap.
Same in boxing. Smaller the fighters get, man, the more faster, and you hear them punch. Pop, 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 pop.
I think it's going to be an entertaining fight, even though there's no finish. I think it's going to be a fun 15 minutes.
Dude, they're opening up the card on a huge event. I can't think they're doing it because they're going to be slouchy.
Mm-hmm.
So their energy levels are going to be through the fucking roof. Like, for real, it's one thing to be in a card. You're the opener or the closer. That's some important freaking roles, dude.
With 25K bonuses for a finish, I think guys are going to be chasing it.
100%. So I'm excited. Maybe we can fly down under and go check it out. Huh?
Right. This will be a fun fight, though. A lot of agreement, some disagreement, less disagreement than the last card.
Some unknowns.
Yeah. Like I said, this is I'm not feeling comfortable betting wise on this card. There's so many up in the airs for me. So let's see how things go. But that's our picks for UFC 325. And we'll be back next week, too, with a wrap up, just like we did for this week's 324. We'll do a little wrap up after the card as well. Compare our picks to the actual winners. Sweet. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this baby up?
Nah, hope everyone enjoyed last week's fight, this week's fight. They're going to keep crushing it with these events. So we're on board.
Hell yeah. Thank you all for tuning in as well. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Let us know in the comments your picks to win the main event, co-main event, all the undercard fights. Really curious to hear who other people think are going to win too. And 2 great Paramount cards to kick off the deal. Love this. So.
These first 4 fights, I'm really interested to see what the Volks fight, the main events. Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to have their love, but these early fights, I'm real curious what people have to say.
Could be the best part of the card, so we'll see. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll check. What are you going to say?
I want this whole card to be good.
Right? Dude, it has potential to be a significantly more exciting fight card than 324. And that's not to say 324 wasn't exciting. It's just you go through this and it's like fireworks, potential for fireworks. So let's see.
The unknowns.
Yes.
A lot of unknowns.
So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll check you out next week with the wrap up of these fights. Ciao, ciao.